With farming herbs for potions being an integral part of the Iron Man experience, you'll often find yourself running out of herb seeds, especially if you're planting 10 seeds at once in each herb patch. Since the most common sources for herb seeds often overlap, and you'll find the same monster or boss drops several types at once, instead of going through the list seed by seed, I'll go by activity from easiest to hardest, and mention which seeds they drop. If you're here for a specific seed, pause now and read this table to find what you're looking for. Starting out, fetid zombies commonly drop all of the low-level seeds, Guam, Marantil and Taramin, and are easily farmed north of Fort Forenthry. A little to the east, bound skeletons are also a good source of Haralander and Wergali. You can also gather most low-level herb seeds easily via pickpocketing master farmers. Necreals with 80 Slayer drop a random herb seed every 7 kills, commonly Toadflax or Irrit, so are reasonable if not hunting specific seeds. With the Vampire questline completed, Virelords are an amazing melee, fire-making and prayer training method, but on top of that they drop a solid amount of noted herbs, mostly Snapdragons, Ranarr and Avanto, and a small amount of Toadflax, Irrit, Avanto and Qualm seeds, plus trace amounts of many more. Looking at some bosses for seeds and starting out easy, the God Wars 1 bosses are okay sources for specific seeds, Ranarr from Zelyana, Dwarfweed from Kriara, Lantodime from Krill, and weirdly, Hard Mode Grador drops an insane amount of Snapdragon seeds. God Wars 2 is also a safe bet. Any of the 4 bosses drop Dwarfweed consistently, whilst Hellware is a top tier source for Lantodime seeds. On to God Wars 3, the Tsek'Ha serving Zuck that you fight in the waves leading up to him, and Zuck himself, drop a very good amount of Irrit, Qualm, Toadflax and Cadentine seeds, as well as grimy herbs of the same types. Nodon Dragonkin at 92 Slayer, also found in God Wars 3, drop large amounts of seeds depending on which type. Guards give Cadentine, Artificers drop Ranarr, and Hunters reward Toadflax, but all 3 types also drop Dwarfweed seeds. Croesus, the skilling boss, drops plenty of herb secondaries, as well as Toadflax, Qualm and Dwarfweed seeds. Stepping it up a bit in difficulty, Nex, although more of a challenge, is a great source for Avanto and Dwarfweed seeds together, and also one of the few sources for Torstol seeds. Vorkath gives plenty of Avanto, Fellstalk and Bloodweed seeds, and in increased amounts if you're able to beat hard mode. And lastly, if you're feeling brave enough, you can beat Solak for decent amounts of Qualm, Cadentine and Irrit seeds, or Virago for plenty of Torstols. A few of the herbs are unique in that they only drop in specific locations. Bloodweed, for example, are only found in the wilderness, so aside from Vorkath, you'll want to complete wilderness events, or get them from any monster in the wilderness at a low chance. And Arbok seeds, similarly, are only found on Anachronia, and come from beating the Rex Matriarch bosses, the big game hunter dinosaurs, or any of the Slayer creatures on the island. There are several more sources for individual herb seeds, such as Hermod the Spirit of War and Archglaicor for Spirit Weed seeds, opening the Crystal Chest in Prifddinas for Torstols, or cleansing the Gate of Elidinus for Wergali. But for the most part, the sources mentioned previously will stock you up nicely, and give multiple types of seeds at once. If you feel like I've missed any major sources, or mispronounced any of the herbs, please feel free to leave a comment.